going to complain.
Very, very true. Anyone else? Yeah.
Some of the greatest truths which have been told to us by Vedanta is to be forgiving, to be generous, and to be always outgoing to help others. But we are always placed in such circumstances in family that we are not able to implement these decisions according to one's own desire and aim. There are so many obstructions from different directions. How to overcome these things, these various objections, and they may look very valid to them, but we are not able to overcome them. So I feel that even at my age, I feel defeated in that purpose. I am not able to achieve what I personally would like to aim and achieve.
Yes, yeah. Actually, to me, when you recognize, you have to remind yourself that you're one, with everybody else, the entire universe, that gives you a sense of peace. But I think that's an important, thing to, we have to remind ourselves to that connectedness to the rest of the universe.
So how would that manifest in your daily life, that understanding?
I think when we interact with people, we have to have a sense, we are all part of the same, whatever, soul, the larger soul, that gives you some sense of acceptance of the other person, and also you also have a sense of being accepted.
True. Any other observations?
When I started to listen to Vedanta lectures, and that was about 20 years ago, before that, to me, the only knowledge of religion or Hinduism was the rituals that were done either at home or at the temple. And so when I was in this country and I didn't do the rituals the way it should be done, or I didn't do a particular dish for a certain festival, I would think, I'm really not good at this. But then maybe I'm not religious enough, and because I don't have time, and my work is consuming me, and the work involves helping people. So it's, in a sense, Vedanta, just listening to Vedanta talks and kind of limited understanding that God, it validated what I was doing. So I felt just understanding a little bit of Vedanta validated and made me feel better about myself, and I didn't have to worry about those small things.
You could let go.
I could let go of those feelings of guilt, but I felt like, okay, if this is what I did, and that's good enough, that's okay. Made life easier.
Good. Anyone else? Whatever it means to you, please share.
See, the objections that Pramananda said, there are objections from outside which don't enable you to rise to an occasion like the way you want to. Or actually, if you analyze it much deeper, I think there are objections within ourselves. It's not coming from outside. We think it is coming from outside.
I would like to add one thing more, if I may. According to the karmic theory, we are all given desires and a certain drive in a particular way to act in the present life according to our karmas before. And very often we find that people of opposite views are joined together in families, and that becomes an opposition to each other, and one has to fight a very great battle for that. I am not referring to my personal life only. I have observed all over. So that's what I find. The fate always places people of differing views, together, so that they may fight. And in that fight, they feel that they have not been able to achieve the aims of all the Vedantic principles they have learned in life. So how are we to overcome this? Or is it so, are they supposed to go through this period and again take birth and then succeed? I don't know.
Okay, I'll address. Any other?
I also feel that
Yes.
those obstacles or those opposite views within the family with my daughter sitting next to me, I think those are opportunities for learning. Because children are your best teachers. And when the opposite views are presented and you try to examine your own actions or your own words, and that really makes you grow. And then that's when Vedanta really helps in understanding your own position and your own connectedness with the humanity.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to say something?
My experience,
Yes.
I think from childhood, at least I have been growing up with impulsive behavior, reaction. If there is anything said or done, you immediately react. And as I have been exposed to some of the wisdom from teachers like you and others, I don't think when I still act on a daily basis, I'm thinking of Vedantic principles. But I think each time, as time goes by, after the event, there is some introspection as to did I really reach up to what I had heard and I wanted to be. And I think over a period of time, it is making a difference. The reactions are less intense, the hurts are not as bad, the giving up is easier, it's not so possessive, my child has to be who I want her or him to be. So my feeling is how has it influenced is not on a daily basis thinking of what I want to do, it's afterwards the ability to really analyze it and say, not every single time, but a lot of times to say, this is not what I really wanted to do, I've been trying to change. And slowly our behavior pattern is starting to change. That's my experience.
Good, very good. What else?
I feel there is no part of the day, no part of action that can be without Vedanta. Just becomes much more effective, life becomes much more effective. Every single action, almost every single thought could be better done. Very influenced by Gandhi is saying that somebody asked him what he thought about religion. There is no part of his life was about religion. He meant Vedanta, he meant spirituality, it was all of that. Makes it so much stronger, so much better, so much complete. And it happens. You just have to think that before every action and after every action. And it becomes your nature, increasingly, not as something that becomes.
Good. Does anyone else? Yes.
My thinking is to approach Vedanta can either use it as a guiding light or a crutch. The way you say this when you do not know much about Vedanta, but superficially, you always use it as a crutch, the arguments as a crutch. Then slowly, when you find out that it can be truly a guiding light, but at the same time there should be an internal thing saying to distinguish between complacency and contentment. You should be contented, but that should not be in a way that it deters you from doing certain things that you ought to be doing anyway. So that's the kind of thing. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle. And,
This is wonderful. What else? Any other reflections?
I liked what you said about complacency
Yes.
and contentment, because when I first entered Vedanta, I always thought it was going to teach you how to be, really serene and let everything, everything walk over you. But it isn't that. It isn't, it's telling you how to lead your life and do what you have to do, but do it with those principles. So you can be content, but that you don't have to